Hello everyone, today we will be discussing the integration of concepts in the lesson plan. But before we will start, let me assess you first. Check the number that applies integration. 1. The teacher asks the pupils to pass the ball with the background music. If the music stops, the one who holds the ball will answer the question. Number 2. The pupils color the different object from the group using primary colors. Number 3. In English, the teacher asks the pupils to classify the animals according to type or group. Number 4. Before the pupil will answer the question, she or he will have to dance his or her favorite dance moves. Number 5. In science, the teacher asks the pupils to make a timeline of their daily activities to keep themselves clean. Let us check your answers later after the video. In today's video, our objectives are: define and understand concept integration. 2. Apply concept integration in all learning areas. 3. Recognize the importance of integration in engaging learners to all learning activities within their interests and capacity. What are integrated lessons? In general, integration is defined as the process of combining two or more things into one. Within education, integrated lessons take on a similar meaning in that they combine two or more concepts into one lesson. The major characteristic of integrated lessons is obviously that it must cross into another subject area. What this means is that you always remain focused on your specific subject area, but also use aspects of another subject within your lesson. For instance, keep the novel you are reading in your language arts class as a main objective, but bring in the historical background for it. There are many ways to bring other subjects into any classroom. Secondly, be sure your integrated lesson addresses your learning objectives or standard, but includes information from other core subjects. If your learning standard in a science class is to focus on how rocks are formed, then stick to this objective. The integrated aspects should reinforce this learning objective and not distract from it. If you integrate activities that are not related to your focus, you will confuse your students and hinder learning instead of strengthening it. Lastly, all integrated lessons should be creative and show the importance of the learning concept. You must have a reason for your integration to relate to the overall objective. Of course, if you are a science teacher, you are in no way responsible for the standards of a history class. What and why of integration in a lesson plan? While teaching, if we integrate concepts from different subjects into a new lesson, then it is called integration, and it helps in making the lesson more engaging for our kids and increases their participation. This is according to Ankita Gupta. Let's understand it with an example. This is an experience of the author. Once I was teaching my kids about first Indian woman to climb Mount Everest, Bachendri Pal. Though the topic belonged to the subject of general knowledge, but I integrated it with the questions from various subjects such as maths, social studies, ethics and values, and English. For example, at various places in the lesson, I encourage them to think about following questions. Number 1. If the height of a tree is 6 meters and the height of Mount Everest is 8,000 meters, how many trees together, when placed on top of each other, will be equal to the height of the Mountain Everest? Building a new knowledge on prior knowledge helps children relate to it and understand it better. For example, in the first question above, it could be difficult for a child to visualize the height of a mountain by sitting in a classroom. This becomes more relatable and understandable when the new knowledge, the height of the mountain, is connected to the prior knowledge, the height of a tree. Number 2. After reading about Bachendri Pal, one of my friends got inspired and joined a mountaineer camp. Locate various states on India's map where you think the group could go for mountaineering. Integrating concepts of different subjects in one lesson helps us cater to the interests of all the children. Every kid has his or her own favorite subject, and while one may not be keen to know about Bachendri Pal, but might have his or her interest in math or social studies, integrating something of his or her interest in the lesson will not only help us increase the participation, but also help the children become confident when they participate in the class. Number 3. What characteristics of Bachendri Pal you think help her to climb the Mount Everest? We teachers often have this challenge that our children forget what they learn. An integrated lesson not only makes it engaging and interesting, but also helps in revising the previous concepts, which ensures retention of knowledge. Number 4. Write about a situation from your life which seemed difficult at first, but you overcame it. Learning concepts in an integrating manner helps in holistic development of a kid. For example, in question number 4 above, encouraging them to make self-connection help them appreciate their strengths and weaknesses, which they will be able to apply in their day-to-day life. Let us consider the following examples. Subject, Mathematics 1, Competency, Visualizing and representing numbers from 0 to 100. Let the pupils draw a cake and let them draw candles according to their current age. Concept, Pagkilala sa sarili, which is taught in ESP. Another activity is ask the pupils to color the objects by 10 using the primary colors. Concept, primary colors, which is taught in art. Another example, subject or learning area, English 4, competency, getting the meaning of words through word association or analogy and classification. Let us focus on classification. Number 1 activity, let the pupils classify the animals in the given list: mammals, birds, fish, and insects. Concept, group of animals. Integrated subject, science. Another activity, ask the pupils to group the names of people into heroes, presidents, and famous people in the country. Concept, mga bayani, mga pangulo ng bansa, at mga kilalang tao sa bayan. Subject, integrated, araling panlipunan. However, one should keep in mind that integration should feel natural and intuitive. If we try to force concepts at different subjects into a lesson plan, it will not only complicate the lesson, but also deviate us from the objective of the lesson. After all, just because of a movie has all the elements in it, there is no guarantee of it being a hit. It may be a bomb too. Now let us check our pretest earlier. Number 1. The teacher asked the pupils to pass the ball with the background music. If the music stops, the one who holds the ball will answer the question. The answer is it applies integration. The concept is following directions from the learning area English. Item number 1 cannot be considered as integration and music because there is no concept that is integrated from the learning area music. Number 2. The pupils colored the different object from the group using primary colors. Item number 2 also has integration, concept, primary colors, subject or learning area, arts. Number 3. In English, the teacher asked the pupils to classify the animals according to type or group. Concept, group of animals, subject integrated, signs. Number 4. Before the pupil will answer the question, she or he will have to dance his or her favorite dance moves. Item number 4 has no integration because there is no concept of PE that discuss favorite dance moves. Number 5. In science, the teacher asked the pupils to make a timeline of their daily activities to keep themselves clean. Concept integrated, making a timeline, which is usually discussed in mathematics, araling panlipunan, and many more learning areas. The English mathematician and philosopher Alfred North Whitehead once said, "Nothing is in isolation. Everything in this world is in some way connected with every other thing in this world. And since the purpose of education is nothing but to make us knowledgeable about the world we live in, the same philosophy should reflect in our lesson plans too."